Alright, so HOTS is still down, so I'm gonna take the time to just do this. Just like create a real clean visual representation of this, and I'm gonna not take a lot of time to talk about these heroes because I've already freaking done it, man. I don't need to do that. I have done my customary adding of an F tier, and this is just going to be a subjective list, just how much I like them in terms of like playing them and dealing with them and like where I think their place in the game is, relatively speaking. Of course, completely subjective. I'm gonna start with Abathur at A tier. This dude is awesome. Uh, I'm not gonna put him at S tier. I just don't think he's that good. Like he's not like that top handful of heroes, but he's definitely up there. Alarak, I kind of think this guy's sadism is a little bit too much. Like you get that 150, 140 sadism Alarak in quick match. It's oppressive, dude. It's like a little bit too oppressive, but I think he's a unique hero. I don't have a ton of fun playing him. Um, Probably C tier. Because I don't think he's terrible. I just don't think he's that great. Alexstrasza. I actually had fun with my Alexstrasza game, which really surprised me. Um, when I was doing my A through Z, but overall, like to say that Alexstrasza is like particularly fun for me, I kind of don't think she is. But I think her dragon is cool. I'm probably gonna put her at C tier as well. Alarak is feeling like solidly, and Alex is probably a little bit lower. And it's a shame. I had like an amazing god tier Ana game, and I didn't place my well, not god tier, but high tier Ana game, and I didn't place my mic right. I don't have fun playing Ana. Generally, it's a little bit too stressful for me, and getting dived feels so bad. I'm probably gonna put her like personally D tier. I think. Again, we're gonna see how D tier shapes out. Uh, I don't think Ana's a problem hero, and that might be where like D and F tier heroes go, but we'll see. Anduin, I think is pretty fun healer. A lot of healing. Holy shit, a lot of healing. He has one of the Holy Ward Salvation, which is an amazing heroic, but also it's easily interrupted. Light Bomb is a bit more, a bit less amazing, but it also has its amazing moments, and amazing plays can come from it. So I think B tier is a pretty alright place for him. Anubarak, he's not going to be high B tier, but I do like him. I like his trait too. Very fun hero. Not the most unique, but he has his own identity, and he has so much AoE healing. It's actually pretty cool. Also, he's like about doing damage to help himself heal. Yeah, that's cool. That's that's cool. And also, he's the twink of the Nexus. Okay, moving on. Um, Anubarak, probably about B tier too. I think he's got an amazing amount of crowd control. He can lock a hero out of existence for a while. My favorite way of playing him is just insanely sustainy. I think that's fun. Like this guy. Artenis. He could either be a B tier or an. I think he's probably A tier. I think he is because I'm looking around, and there's going to be a lot of heroes in every tier. That's just a fact of life. And I think Artanis is fun as hell. The swaps are amazing. He gets the most improved award. This dude was a piece of garbage when he released, and he is far from a piece of garbage right now. I mean, look how high I put him. Super brawly. You can go for a very team fight oriented style or just work PvE. Running this dude on Hanamura with amateur opponent is amazing because he can solo every camp in the in that on that map, and he just contributes so much experience that way. Or you could go ham with this dude. I think there's a nice diversity of playstyles. He has a good gameplay identity, and each player can kind of mold their style to him, depending on the moment or just how they feel. So that's cool. Arthas, I'm I'm probably going high B tier with Arthas, like above Anubarak. I had so much fun in my Arthas game, but I kind of don't think he's gonna be A tier for me because the moments he gets blown up just kind of feel sucky. They really do. But when he's sustaining, dude, uh, oh, hell yeah. One thing that I don't particularly like, and I haven't really mentioned too much, is heroics. Like, if you only have one solid heroic choice, I'm not a huge fan of that. And both of Arthas's heroics are good, but I only ever pick one because I always feel like I need that extra sustain. Because the extra sustain also helps me do more damage in the long run. Kind of like Muradin, who I haven't gotten to yet. Won't be getting to for a while. Yeah, there he is. Anyway, moving right along. Next up is going to be Auriel. Auriel is stressful, but enjoyable overall. I think she goes in C tier. I think she's been well improved in terms of not being dependent on other heroes to be functional. And I think that's cool. Love the AoE, love her very skill-based stun, love that she has some solid wave clear, but it's just kind of stressful and not super enjoyable to play Auriel for me personally, so I don't feel good about putting her on the same level as Anduin, someone who I definitely enjoy a bit more, I'd say. Even if I have more levels on Auriel, don't worry about it. Azmodan, put in right a D tier. I think he's a problem hero as opposed to Ana. It's like he can really turn, if he gets stacked, his games against Azmodan can so quickly turn into an attrition because he can shut down any push with the press of a button. He's kind of one of the luminary scaling heroes, scaling off heroes, scaling off minions, doing whatever. In the past, it felt like Azmodan was sort of just a sort of niche-y gimmick hero, but now he's like a kind of veritable, like, better not let this guy do whatever the fuck he wants because it's gonna be a problem. But in a way, he's actually even harder to prevent from scaling than Zul'jin. Zul'jin you can just walk the fuck away from. I mentioned Zul'jin because he's another one who I think of in like a very similar category, except Asmo's a mage and Zul'jin's an auto attacker. Yeah, I'm just not a huge fan. I think he's cool in concept, but overall not a huge fan. I'm actually looking, and do I like Anduin better than Nubarak? Hey, that's a question. I think I like Nubarak better. Anyway, next up is going to be Blaze, who's going to go right into B tier. B for Blaze, A for Artanis, A for Abathur, B for Blaze, C for Alarak. Right? Come on. An A for Ant. No, just playing. It's not. It's not. Yeah, Blaze is super fun. He's got like big ass stun. He tosses slows. He can. One of the big things that really attracted me to Blaze as soon as I played him is how much he pops off. Like he has so many buttons he can press. Like when shit gets real, and I think that's kind of fun, and I like that about him. But other than that, like the mechanic of setting oil slicks on fire, but then those oil slicks lose their slowing capability. His big area of effect stun. Only thing is, I'm not a big fan of Bunker Drop as a heroic. Wasn't a fan of it when it was at its best, and I'm still not a fan of it now. I'm like a combustion pretty much all the time type of dude. And also, generally, I don't think he fits in a niche quite as cleanly as Arthas, but he is more generally flexible, I think, so balances out. Brightwing, probably going to go around C tier. I like Brightwing's teleport. I like the polymorph, that's amazing. And Blinkheel is really fun to mess around with. And Emerald Wind is also interesting, even if I don't play it very much. But, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think the main mechanic by which she gets more healing, which is hitting these, like, slow, kind of small skill shots, is not my taste. That's all for that. So we are nearly 10 minutes in. Still a lot to go. Cassia. Ranged assassin. I found myself enjoying Cassia probably a bit more than a Nubarak, I'd say. She's a real fun ranged assassin. She's got great poke, she can engage really hard, and she's pretty tanky. Not a massive fan for heroics. That's kind of my biggest complaint. I don't really connect with her heroics particularly. So that's an alright place for Cassie, I say. Chen. Ooh, where do I put Chen? No lie, his place in the game is pretty suspect. In, like, the old sense of the word, not in the meme sense. Like, it's a pretty suspect place. But, the game that I played with him last, where I won, it got me thinking, like, is Chen really that bad? Like, especially in quick match, like, you may not get interruptions. I don't know. Like, I'm gonna tentatively put Chen right around here. Maybe? Like, yeah, that feels about right. Maybe even around here? I'm gonna tentatively put him right around here. Because when Chen works, he's absolutely a delight, but I don't know if he works all the time. Because, like, Chen, at my most beloved, at my, at loving him most, he was like an A tier hero for me, for sure. Cho and Gall are one hero, and I'm gonna put them right in D tier because I think they're problem heroes. I just think they are so fucking destructive in a quick match environment. And fact of the matter is, most people play quick match. Like, without coordination, these dudes are fucking nightmares. Like, they really are. And I think they thought by giving them a trait where they can switch between having more spell power and more armor, like, would help them diversify their playstyle. It just made them more oppressive, I feel like. Yeah. So I'm rating, like, a lot of personal preference here, but also, like, if I see them and I'm queued up against them, do I feel fucking dread? And it's like, when I have problem heroes, I feel dread. So that's what I'm basing it on. Chromie, good job, girl. You're not going to be in D tier, but you are not going to be in F tier, but you are going to be in D tier. I do not like playing Chromie. I like playing Chromie less than Anna. Um, yeah, I gave her a lot of praise for being a better designed hero, but honestly, this, like, long ranged artillery mage bullshit still doesn't appeal to me. The best feeling I get from Chromie is when I kill them. It's fucking psychopathic shit, but it's real. It's like, that's how I feel. Um, I just think there's more interesting things about Chromie. I think she's not an F tier hero like she was for most of her time. She's jumped from, like, bottom of F to, like, solidly D. Like, maybe even top of D. We'll see. But yeah, Chromie. Deathwing. Again, this is a preference thing. I do not like this hero. I do not like playing them. But I like playing them notably, like, more than Chromie. Which makes me kind of think, like, okay, I actually don't like playing Chromie at freaking all. So, Azmodan is at least fun-ish. You know what? Anna honestly feels like she should be in C tier, and Deathwing can go, like, right here. Probably right here. No, right there. Yeah. Deathwing is very clunky for me, and that's something that I can maybe overcome with more practice, but it feels like you're playing with, like, high levels of latency. Like, we're playing 100 ping when we freaking run Deathwing, and it's a weird feeling. Anyway, Deckard Cain. Honestly, it's gonna probably surprise some people. I'm putting Deckard Cain pretty freaking low. I don't have a lot of fun with how he works. His potion healing mechanic is not to my taste. Whew. Whew. Um, and yeah, he has a lot of stuns and roots, but it's so rote, because you just kind of, feels like you do the same thing each time, and the only time it, like, the same combo, and the only time it really changes up is when you're running gems, which I think the gems are cool, and they make them a little bit more fun, but that's really the only enjoyment I get out of this. That and the one time I ran a melee Deckard build, which was honestly fun. It was about picking AoE potions at level 13 and then safety in numbers at level 16. That was fun, but other than that, I've not had any fun playing Deckard. Speaking of characters I've had no fun playing, Dehaka is absolutely not one of them. He can go right in frickin' A tier, above Abathur, certainly. Love this dude so much. Just such a fucking blast every time. Um, no further comment. Great crowd control, great wave clear. He's a very improved hero, and he has 2 solid heroics to pick from, depending on what you want. Awesome. Diablo, never quite got the taste for this guy, so I'm going to kind of put him right around the heroes where I think I respect them, but I never quite had the taste for them. I'm actually putting Alex, Straza, and Anna. I think I underrated Anna. I think Anna's fine. I just don't like being dived on her, which feels like a lot of the time. Alarak is a hero that I kind of... Okay, that's alright. Yeah, Dehaka's awesome. That's what I'm gonna get at. Diva had a lot of fun playing Diva, honestly. Yeah, this mm, um yeah, that feels right. Diva's awesome. I kind of like the feeling of her now. I like that you can talent into new abilities for her pilot mode. I like the balance between her mech and her pilot mode. Um, I like a lot of her talents. The nuke is awesome. She has a really empowering feeling at times, but she can feel a little bit like disempowered at other times. It's weird. Um, because like she can just get burned down and then she's just in pilot form and then eat shit, I guess. Uh, but other than that, I do like Diva. I enjoy playing her. Anyway, S tier, ETC, first S tier. This dude owns like one of the most dramatic, interesting, yet simple tanks in the game. He's a peel master. He can spec into a bard style and heal people. He gives himself armor. Not 25. It's only 20. It's only 20 now, unfortunately. But that cannot take away all the good freaking times I have had playing ETC. Even climbing ranks with him at times. Stage diving in, mosh pitting, blinking over a wall to get a 5-man mosh on a siege camp and winning the freaking game. Oh my goodness. That moment alone, S tier for my dude ETC. Amazing. Anyway, next up, we got Falstad. Honestly, no, he can't be S tier because he's just a little bit like I always feel like he's a little bit too squishy, just a little bit for what he is. But other than that, global. Oh, actually, Hinterlands. Hinterlands is a pretty crappy heroic. I'm not a fan of Hinterlands. So he's only got one good heroic. ETC has one heroic that's much more notable, but Stage Dive is still good. Falstad, Hinterlands, they tried to fix it and it's still kind of not that great, in my opinion. Phoenix. I'd say Phoenix probably hovers maybe around here. He's a pretty fun ranged assassin. Again, he is very ranged, but he can... When his shields go, it's a crappy feeling. His heroics are not that great. His Q ability is a little bit weird to pull off sometimes, but when this guy feels like he's working well, it's a really cool feeling. Like, it's really got that Dragoon feeling, like you're microing a single Dragoon extremely well in StarCraft, Brood War. So that's a neat feeling. I like him. Playing with shield is also pretty fun. Anyway, Garrosh. Fuck, dude. Some people gotta go in F tier, even if I don't wholeheartedly hate them, but fuck Garrosh. I don't like playing him, I don't like playing against him, and when he launched for a not insignificant amount of time, he was the most fucking dog shit tank in the game. Not for quality, just for what he was, what he did. Q, E, across the entire map, fuck off. Sorry, Garrosh. Actually, no, sorry, fuck off. Gazlowe, strangely oppressive hero, definitely gonna go in the lower reaches of things. Um, I feel like I have more of a problem. Oh, by the way, just a thought. Alarak can go above the other scaling heroes because if you kill Alarak, it resets. And it's so much easier not to feed Alarak versus not feeding Asmodan or not feeding Zul'jin. Like, you have to die for Alarak to get his value. Just conscientiousness will get you out of most of that. Some amount of Zul'jin can be countered by conscientiousness, but only an amount. If he's really good at weaving his auto attacks, it's hard to fucking stop him. And Asmodan, it's just, oh, you're in a circle, like a wide circle. Eat shit. I get 50 stacks. Anyway, Gazlowe. I'm gonna put Gazlowe in D tier. I think he's mostly harmless. I have no real joy from playing him. Actually, maybe. I'm gonna actually put Gazlowe in C tier. Low C tier. Just because I do like some of his bruisery or qualities that he has now. But I'm overall still not a big fan of him. Big surprise. But, you know, the turret changes are interesting. I think that's an improvement. I don't think his freaking grab a bomb should be as short of a cooldown as it is, at least as long as I think it is. But yeah, Gazlowe, and also he can really trade with people, which is surprising and also kind of funny, but a little bit bullshit, but also mostly funny. Anyway, Genji. Genji, I'm probably gonna put around here. Because I have fun playing Genji, but I also recognize I am tampering with some, like, real volatile materials here. I think he's less of a problem than Tracer, who is a similarly hyper-mobile Overwatch assassin who can auto-attack while moving. But I think Genji has been overall nerfed more effectively to the point where only the best of players can really get the best of Genji players can really get the most out of him, whereas a lot of people are going to kind of just flounder a bit with him. Yeah, I think that's an okay place for him. He's a very dynamic and exciting hero in a way that I think Tracer isn't quite as much, just because you have to commit more to what you're doing, and I think that commitment is a much more exciting prospect than just getting yourself into trouble and then recalling out. There you go. Yep. Anyway, in my video on him, I described Greymane as possibly the best ranged assassin in the game, pound for pound, and I'm sticking with that. Greymane is going in S tier. The camp taking, how well his auto attack speed, his auto attack speed increase ability works, how he turns into Worgen form, just the versatility, fitting into literally any comp he wants. The fact that I feel like I can reasonably solo queue as this guy and not expect a bad time, like, he's pretty awesome. And yet he feels balanced, like he's not bullshit. Little complaints. I do often feel compelled to go for one major build on this guy, even if he does have two other effective builds. And I don't think his heroics are perfectly balanced, but I definitely think they're in at least the same relative space of quality, just in different circumstances. One is for chunking big health targets, and the other is for cleaning up squishies. But again, just the fact that both of those things are available to him in his heroic talent tree is pretty sick. Like this guy a fucking lot. Greymane S tier. Gul'dan, one of my more preferred mages in the game. He has a ton of self-sustain. Holy shit. And he has so much damage he can put out. He has two good heroics, good for different circumstances. But I'm still not a huge fan of him. Um, I'm probably gonna put him around here. Uh, I think that level 20 where you can just portal out of any situation is kind of stupid. Um, like, just straight up, it's kind of dumb. Uh, and I think running Drain Life in the solo lane is some of that, like, some of that bullshit that should probably be tweaked down a little bit. But overall, I think Gul'dan's alright. He does what he's supposed to do, and he does it pretty well. Hanzo. Hanzo has at times been a problem hero. I don't think he is anymore, but he can be frustrating to play against. I'm probably going to put him right around here. Like, I like Ariel more, but I think I like Brightwing less. Did I even talk about Diablo? I don't remember talking about Diablo. Diablo, he has cool combos, but overall, I'm not a not a huge fan of how he works. Not a particular fan of his heroic selection or how he respawns with his trait. Um, just his whole style, you know. I have a lot of levels on him because I felt compelled to play him when he was the best tank in the game, and I was doing draft. But not a huge fan. Yeah, there you go. I don't know. Remember if I talked about Diablo? I feel like I completely skipped over him, and you just ended up in C tier somehow. Anyway, next up, Hogger. Mr. Millie rockin' in the lane. Fucking Jesus. I feel like this guy could probably be higher if I took the time, but at this moment, I actually kind of liked Hogger. I didn't dislike him. I probably right around here. I think he's a little bit too out of control for my taste. Like pressing a button and then losing control of yourself. I don't know about that. I don't know about it. But his gimmick of throwing shit around the field and then knocking people into it, like, is a fun idea. Blowing up areas, it's a fun concept. It really is. In fact, You know, I actually do have quite a bit of fun playing Hanzo, but I'm also balancing that with the fact that he's been kind of bullshit and he's not exactly fun to play against. So I do want to consider that. Hogger, I've never really had too many problems playing against. I think he's perfectly alright. I think I like playing Hogger more than Brightwing, but Brightwing has the legacy. Hogger can stay there. I like him more than Diablo, probably. At least on a conceptual level. I've played a hell of a lot more Diablo than Hogger. I really gotta try to, like, balance all this shit together. Alright, Illidan is a lot easier for me. Illidan is going in A tier. Granted, it's gonna be below Artanis. Illidan can feel a little bit squishy, but I think that's extremely important that he not be any tankier than he is, because he's been a fucking nightmare, dude. But he is one of those heroes I feel like I can solo queue as, and I can always be doing something. I can always be building up my attack power with Unending Hatred. I can always be taking camps. I can always be using Immolation to clear waves and get healing back. He has the Hunt if you want to be a more flexible style. He has Metamorphosis if you want to go full team fight. I think he's a really well done hero. He hasn't really been tweaked much lately, and I think that's a testament to he's in a pretty fucking solid place in the game. And I have no problems, no complaints on this dude. I mean, some complaints. Like, you know, some combinations with Illidan are a little bit oppressive to deal with in a quick match setting, and you can definitely duo queue an Illidan with one other hero and turn it into a big problem, but I still like him a lot. I don't see that too often. Like, occasionally, certainly, but not crazy often. Anyway, here's the moment we've all been fucking waiting for. Lunara directly at the top of the tier list. You know, if I was to pick, like, my number one bias hero, at times it's been ETC, but I think with the armor reduction, I've kind of started to see a few of the holes in his survivability, in terms of surviving burst damage. Lunara just kicks ass. There's not anything I really dislike about her. except that her trait is bound to her E key as opposed to being something on the 1, and then, I don't know, anything else being on the E. But I also get why that is. Other than that, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, spreading toxin all over the place, slowing people, revealing locations, revealing heroes, the Huntress of the fucking Nexus. It's sick. Protector of the Forest, Lunara. Awesome. Just so good. Anyway, Imperius is a dick. Not a fan of Imperius, honestly. I think I'm probably going to put Imperius, like, here, because I like playing him more than Deathwing, but I also kind of hate playing against him. He's just, for a bruiser, his crowd control is so oppressive, dude. Like, how absolutely brutal it can feel sometimes. Just sucks, dude. And I know he's slow and kind of clunky, but doesn't change facts, right? Does not change the facts that, like, you get caught by this guy, you get blowed up, and it's not an amazing feeling. Yep. Not the most fun hero to play with or against, so D tier feels right. Jaina. Jaina, I think, is a well-designed hero, so I don't think I should put her any lower than C. But I don't have a ton of fun playing her in most instances, but I have more fun playing her than other mages. So I think I'm going to probably hover her around here. Yeah, that looks about right. Because I like her... no, Genji's more of a problem, or has been more of a problem, and Jaina's never been a terrible problem in the Nexus. She's always been a decent mage choice, but I think her design is restrained enough that she's like, yeah, she's fine. I don't think anybody sits around going like, fuck Jaina. I think she's alright. Anyway, Johanna Berg is going right into A tier, but the question is where? I'm going to say probably above Abathur. Again, the memories of Storm, of attempting Hero League with Johanna, and just, like, she was my main pretty much. Like, I was a tank and bruiser player, and so often we needed a tank, and so often we needed wave clear, and who's got both of them? Johanna does. She's got a crazy unstoppable. Her crowd control is a little bit lacking, but she has a lot of other tools in her kit that make it okay. She's got blinds. She can pull a lot of people together to capitalize upon AoE damage from her damage dealers. She's got a solid multi-target stun for her heroic on a slow cooldown. Yeah, I got no real big complaints about Johanna, except that, like, she can be a little bit boring sometimes, like just a little bit plain wafer, but not a huge issue, I don't think. Anyway, Junkrat, kind of don't like Junkrat. I don't like this guy very much. I don't like his stupid fucking tire. I don't like his dumb rocket ride heroic where he just gets out of whatever the fuck he feels like. I hate that shit of, oh yeah, I'm out of position, but guess what, bitch? I can get out of anything I want. Like, it's kind of, whatever. And it's like, that's like the main use of it too, it feels like. It's not like Falstad where it's like, okay, yes, Mighty Gust can get you out of a lot of shit, but it feels like you've wasted your heroic then. Junkrat, it feels like that's what he wants to use his heroic for. Like, oh, I got myself in a little bit of a pickle. Now I'm gonna ride my rocket out and drop it on your head. Because it's like, it does the same thing whether you're doing like a disengage, get out of jail free card, or if you're using it aggressively in a team fight. It feels like it does the same thing either way. So, whatever. All of his attacks are from range. His fucking mines are annoying. His freaking steel traps are annoying. Like, everything about Junkrat's honestly pretty fucking annoying. Like, I don't think there's anything that doesn't annoy me about this character. Fucking killing him, dropping bombs is annoying. Actually, you know what? I think I hate Junkrat. Interesting. What a revelation. I kind of was not expecting that, but I thought about everything about playing with about playing with this hero, about playing against this hero, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I don't like any of this. Interesting. So if that's not an F tier, then ain't nothing an F tier, right? Kalthos. I've described this guy as a really cool mage, very interestingly versatile. I but where does he go? I'm kind of inclined to put him right about here, cause like I'm kind of surprised by that, because at times wait, I have to balance this with like the fact that I think he's really fucking annoying to play against. We'll put him there then. Kael'thas has Pyroblast, which is a lot of damage that gets done to one target. He has Ignite, which drops a living bomb on a target you hit a Flame Strike con. It's just a lot of very sticky damage that's a team without a healer cannot really contend with. And I think that's kind of bullshit, but other than that, I actually enjoy Kael'thas like a lot. I think he's a well-designed hero. I think he's smartly constructed. I think his trait is interesting as hell. I think he has a lot of interesting tools at his disposal, from AoEs, zoning tools, multi-person stuns. It's all just about poke damage. It's all there, and depending on like your situational awareness and your own like game sense. So I think he's actually cool as shit. I'm surprised by how much higher I think he rates than Jaina, but yeah. Anyway, fuck Kel'Thuzad. This is a trash hero who does one thing and it's fucking disgusting, as the meme goes. They tried to rework him so that he doesn't do just one thing, but the fact of the matter is, he only does one thing. His abilities do not work independently of each other except his Q, and yep, no matter what you're building towards, you're going to be doing one thing on him, so fuck Kel'Thuzad. Kerrigan is weird, because I do not play Kerrigan much, but I also have an affection for her that feels almost misplaced. I don't think she's a problematic hero in any meaningful way. I think she's strong. I think her combos are very meaningful. Though again, she is a little bit like Kel'Thuzad in the sense that like two of her abilities don't really work very much alone, but they're by no means as punishing as Kel'Thuzad. And also, Kerrigan doesn't have a Zerg spike that she spawns out of the ground that attaches to an enemy hero and pulls them towards this location with an extremely long range. Kerrigan just being a melee assassin just makes her better than Kel'Thuzad, I think. So yeah, Kerrigan, I'm up in the air. I think she probably goes around here. I've always loved her PvE, and I like her team fights. I think there's so many fucking exciting moments you can get out of Kerrigan that are just so her. I think I would prefer queuing up as Kerrigan versus an Uberak, and I think they're equally. I'd actually say an Uberak's probably a little bit more problematic, just because his Cocoon heroic has defined the meta in so many instances. Yeah. Karazim, the monk of Ivgorod. Karazim is extremely mobile. You know, I'm gonna do it. I think he's an A tier. I think Karazim is an A tier hero. He's got a really cool heroic that heals people. Because it can be counterplayed by the enemy team, but if you're really good and you time it perfectly, it's almost impossible to counter it. So it's like a very high skill ceiling kind of deal, because it's when an allied hero would die, this heroic, while it's on them for the few seconds it's on them, would prevent that death and gives them a huge bursty heal. It's awesome. Like, getting a good Divine Palm is amazing. You can also play this guy super aggressively, or you can play him a lot more passively, or you could play an aggressive build, but the aggression is all about doing more healing. You can solo boss as him, which is conceptually hilarious. You can jump around. Oh, he's fun. He's fun, dude. He's just such a fun hero, man. Hell yeah, man. Frickin' Karazim. Lucio, I'm gonna put right around here. I like her more than Anna. I like him more than Anna. Sorry. I like him more than Anna because he's mobile. He's kind of fun in that respect. Doing his trait is enjoyable, but I don't know. Something doesn't connect about this guy. I think there's like this feeling of a lack of impact to everything he does. He just feels floaty and kind of crappy. Maybe it's the lack of sound effects or the animation or something. But I don't know. His gimmick of being able to haste his entire team is kind of neat. He is the bard of this game, which is, appreciated. Actually, the real bard of this game is ETC, but that's neither here nor there. But even his newer high 5 heroic, like, he just kind of slides and then just touches somebody. There's nothing to it. Like, I don't know. Everything feels like undercooked about this guy to me. And I know he's like a complete hero and he's balanced and he's fine, but like, eh. Like, you see someone running damage Lucio, it's less scary and more just like fucking annoying. Like, it's a gnat that's just there. I don't know. Leoric, outside of like suicidal skeleton style, I think Leoric's cool. I'm probably gonna put him maybe around here. Yeah, I'm gonna put Leoric around there. He's the eternal skeleton. He respawns on the field after every death, which is a super cool ability. Sometimes, I mean, don't go looking for it, but if it happens to you, you die. It happens, right? You get to be a ward on the field that provides vision. You can drain life off of people to make yourself respawn faster. He can be super awesome. He can also feel a little bit... is D.Va a little bit too high? Because I'm kind of... Maybe Leoric's... I think Leoric's more like that, honestly. Yeah, I do like Leoric a lot. The only thing is, like, he can be kind of squishy in the wrong case. Like, if you miss one of your abilities, it feels like shit. Like, if you miss your drain life, it feels kind of like shit. And then you just have to use your E to run away. And D.Va doesn't have anything like that. But he also has Entomb, which is so cool. And D.Va doesn't have anything that cool. Yeah, I think this is an alright position for him. That feels alright. Li Ming, been a sketchy hero at times, but I think she's, again, in kind of Genji-ish position, where I think it's alright in general. Where she's at, I think she's dynamic and exciting, and very fast-paced. And I think it's mostly good players who get the most out of her. I think Archon Pure Power is bullshit. Just such an annoying level 20. But, again, there's lots of level 20s in the game. It's just Archon just stands out as, like, something that's visually very distinct. And it's like, oh, this motherfucker picked Archon Pure Power, and now they're just disintegrating from 5 miles away. Fuck off. Other than that, though... Oh, and orb builds are pretty annoying, too. That orb build shit kind of makes me want to put her a little bit lower. I think she kind of belongs in party with Genji. Sort of. But I think she's, like, probably a bit better than Genji. But I don't have as much fun playing her. Yep, that looks good. Alright, here we go. Here we fucking go with my girl Lily. Alright, jeez. Where to put her, though? Again, she does lack a little bit of impact. Like, the lack of bite is absolutely there on Lily, but I gotta put her in A tier at least. Like, she could go up, possibly. Do I like her more than Dehaka? Dehaka's drag has that delay on it. Lily can feel kind of unimpactful at times, I'm not gonna lie. And I never feel that with Dehaka. But Lily is a very fun healer. Like, just a blast to play, really. Honestly, stay tuned on this. That could change up. Lieutenant Morales. I've actually grown a little bit on her. Not a ton. I'm not crazy about her or anything, but for what she is, I think she's just about perfect. Like, she does what she does. It's not the most exciting thing, not the most flashy thing, but there is skill to it in terms of managing your other abilities and managing your energy wisely. I think it's all right. No real hate towards Morales. I'm gonna say probably like right about here. I don't feel like Hogger should be here. Like, my personal preference of him is just not that high. Like, I don't. Honestly, I think I'd just move Hogger lower. I think I was enamored with the idea of what Hogger does, which is just throw garbage around the field. If I played him more, I could see him possibly going higher, but at this moment in time, like, I don't feel tempted to play him more. That's the thing. Like, I feel tempted to play D.Va more, and I haven't played a lot of D.Va, but I'm like, I think about, like, okay, if I queued up as D.Va, would I have a good time? And I'm like, yeah, I would. I would have a good time with D.Va. Fuck yeah, man. Absolutely. I think about that with Hogger, and I'm like, I might not. I might not. So anyway, Maiev. Maiev is super unique hero, all about binding people to her and dragging them around. It's pretty interesting. Kind of like Kel'Thuzad, if Kel'Thuzad had any fucking guts whatsoever. Her whole thing of getting resets on her Q from hitting multiple targets is a super exciting playstyle. It's very dynamic, very engaging, but I'm not a huge personal fan of it. So I think I put this around like C tier, where it's like I respect the mechanics of the hero, but I'm not a personal big fan of them. I'm probably gonna put her right around here. That feels alright. Because, like, the idea of playing Maiev is exciting and enticing, but I kind of don't do it because I'm like, I'm probably gonna suck. Right? Like, I'm probably gonna suck. Mal'Ganis over here. Definitely one of, like, I definitely high B tier. Like, I think I like Blaze more. I do, but Mal'Ganis is a pretty sick feeling hero too. Like, he's really close. Like, I don't like Dark Conversion. I think that's a stupid gimmick for a heroic, but compared to his other one, which is just so much better. So that's holding him back a little bit, not having two heroics that are both meaningful and good. But other than that, the AoE this guy does, the amount of self-sustain, the sleeping is kind of cool, but a little bit sketchy sometimes, depending on what the your allied team does. Uh, yeah, I think he's cool. I'm kind of tempted to put him, like, right here next to all the other tanks that I think are, like, good, but not, like, not quite crazy about, not, like, wholly in love with. I just think are good. Malfurion. Uh, this guy is stressful, but I think the difference is I do have fun playing him. Um, I think I'm gonna put him right around here. Maybe here. Yeah, that looks about right. Um, he's fun, stressful. His roots are amazing. He has two very solid heroics. He can give Innervate. If I was, like, ready to commit myself to, like, playing a ton of Malfurion, like, I would not, like, his kit is terrific. Like, I could actually see him going right to A tier, but in terms of my personal preference, like, probably resting around here. I don't think he provides any huge issues in terms of how the game is overall, the overall game state. He never really has, as far as I can remember. Except I guess like during the 2 support meta, everything was kind of fucked, and this guy was just running around with like fucking extremely high wave clear for some reason. Yeah, that wasn't great. Anyway, other than that, like terrifically well-rounded kit, amazing crowd control, a lot of healing that is very skill based, and 2 good heroics. Like, no big complaints. I just don't have a ton of fun playing him because he is kind of stressful. Anyway, Malthael. Unfortunately, not a huge fan of Malthael. I just always feel like he doesn't feel right to me. Like, like, I feel like he should feel great, but something is always off about it. And it just makes it so weird because he's a hero that conceptually I think I fuck with, but then I actually get into the game and play him, and it never feels right. It just never feels right. Last Rites is sick, but and his wave clear is fantastic, but I Medivh, don't have fun playing him, don't have fun playing against him, don't have fun with him on my team usually, because it feels like the best Medivhs in Quick Match just fuck off on their own and turn themselves into a solo range damage dealer with a self-protect and high mobility with his portal. Many fucks to this asshole. Overall, he wasn't even fixed by any rework, unlike Chromie. Like, actually, I'm gonna let Cho'Gall stay in D tier out of respect for the interesting gimmick of having two players control one hero, and to have it feel suitably oppressive, like he's an actual fucking raid boss. But other than that, fuck it. Mei. Mei's a hero I'm probably gonna softball a little bit, because I feel like I don't have quite the experience to say I like or dislike her. Overall, I think the place where she falls is probably closest to Diablo. But I think I probably have more... Do I have more fun playing her than Diablo? Would I rather play Diablo or Mei right now? I do think I'd rather play Diablo. But I think Mei falls in a quite similar location. Yeah. Anyway. Next up is Mephisto. Don't really like this guy, but I don't have a huge problem with him either. I just don't personally vibe with his style. So I think that's like low C tier material. Above Gaslow, come on. Fucking let's be real. Above Malthael probably, because I think he's a bit more unique than Malthael. Above Ana? Above Ana. Right around there. Yeah. Ana above Lucio? Or Ana below Lucio? Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, I just don't really vibe with his playstyle deeply, but like getting a ton of cooldown reduction on your abilities from getting a good W is a great feeling. So can't take that away. Muradin. Muradin I think goes right into A tier. Honestly, possibly above Johanna. Or like maybe? Yeah, that feels alright. Yeah. I mean, there he is, right? there he fucking is. Muradin can either play him. My big problem is my own, which is, I can tunnel vision on this dude pretty bad. But other than that, I think he's an extremely well-rounded tank. No complaints about just about anything about him. Like, his talent tree is trim and well put together. He has multiple styles you can play him in. I definitely prefer Avatar over Haymaker, but I also understand that Haymaker is a valid pick that a lot of people really enjoy. and they can do an entire play style around it. Yeah, yeah, Muradin's good. Uh, ooh boy, what do I do with Murky? You know, uh, this is gonna be controversial even to me. I feel like, but I'm feeling Murky like right around here. I think Murky does what Murky does extremely well. I think it's an engaging playstyle, and I think like the brainless split push is definitely something to concern ourselves with to some level, but Murky kind of dies very easily, as you'd imagine. I don't know, it's weird. The brainless split push is something to worry about. I'm gonna say that just full stop. But I also think that like when this guy is like on all cylinders, it's such an interesting play style. Like moving your egg around, going in, trying to do a little bit of disruption, running some interference, uh, trying to like push lanes here and there, bubbling in and out. It's like it's so different. And then like looking for that one moment where you can flank somebody with a freaking March of the Murlocs or lock somebody down with Octograb. It's so it's so murky, you know? It really is. So honestly, him and Leoric not that different. They ended up neighbors almost by accident, but like people have done similarly stupid fucking shit with like both Murky and Leoric's skill set, but they're also both heroes that I think are cool and interesting. And Murky even more so, whereas I think Leoric is a bit more solid and sturdy. But yeah, Murky definitely one of the most iconic heroes in the game, one of the most unique. And I don't have a lot of complaints. Nazeebo. Nazeebo I've mentioned having issues with a number of times, but I also cannot divest my own personal enjoyment of the hero. I think he's probably gonna go around here. Uh, yeah, I mean, I know the viral infection thing. I've gone through it a number of times. I've gone through how oppressive it is. But also, I've had a number of games recently where I've beat a viral infection Nazebo. Because it's very strong, but you also have to play it well to get use out of it. Like, if you're just out of position and die, you're not helping your team, but that is not exactly a defense of it. I still think it's a little bit overtuned for how very plausible it is to get. I still think there's the issue where Nazebos can lock themselves into laning an entire game and not help their team, or they can, you know, never lane and only help their team, and then they miss out on that level 20 because that level 20 viral infection talent just owns so much of this dude's fucking soul, which is a shame because I think he's a good hero independent of that, and I've made that case before. Alright, next up, Nova. My big problem is that Nova has no freaking wave clear, and she doesn't really feel like she fulfills the sniper fantasy terribly well. It just, I mean, certainly you can get your snipe stacks and she can feel impactful, but until then, she can. I swear, this fucking character can feel like half of a hero sometimes, or like a 3/4 of a hero. It's such a bummer. I, I mean, I just don't think I can put her very highly, honestly. I think I'll put her right around here, cause I enjoy playing Nova, but I never actually. Let me rephrase that. I enjoy the mechanical sensation of Nova, but I don't like playing her or queuing up as her because I feel like I'm gonna end up as a liability to my team. That's like such a shitty feeling for like a hero that can have their fun moments. I actually like have some builds and some styles I'd want to try on Nova. Like I'd love to go for a lethal decoy build. I'd love to go for a freaking pinning shot follow through build. I'd love to go for what's another thing? I'd love to go for an anti armor shells build. Going just for full burst damage, but it feels like so much of that shit is not even available because the map is just gonna completely spin out of my control before I can try any of that, and once I get to 16, it's like, oh, are your lanes pushed out? You better pick up the fucking AoE snipe, otherwise you're kind of letting your team down, and I kind of hate that. And I'm going to go into that with another hero later in this list, but not a big fan of that with Nova. Orphea, I think she's an alright mage. I think she's pretty dynamic and exciting. I like her play style. I just don't get the most amount of enjoyment. I think she probably hovers around high C tier for me. I think this actually looks right, because I don't like her as much as Malf, but I like her more than these heroes here. Yeah, that looks good. Surprisingly easy. Surprisingly easy there. Probe. Yes. Don't just call her Probe. That's like calling a May human. A new bracket beetle. The Probe has a name. Sure, the name's like the equivalent of May being humanist, but okay, okay, whatever. Probius, I don't know. I think they're okay. I don't think they're terribly problematic as a hero. So, I even have like a little bit of fun playing them. But, like, let's be real here, guys. I mean, yeah, I'll put you right there. All right, there, yeah. Wait, actually, just right. No, that's not it. No, I was just joking because I keep raising them up, but like, I don't know. It's weird. I like the changes Probius has gone through. I think they're better than they were before. I enjoy them more than Gazlowe. That's, I think, pretty uncontested in my brain. The setup is really fun. My last Probius game sucked, but I think I'm fine with Probius being right around here. Like, like, Hogger's weirding me out because it's like I don't know that much about this guy, and like, should he even be there? Or should he just be at F tier? Like, I don't fucking know. Um, no, I like Hogger. I just don't play him. Okay, there you go. And Probius. Unfortunately, I'm not a huge fan of heroes who need all that setup. But I think Probius poses less overall problems than Alarak in any given match. Probably. Kira. Kira is Hunter, mercenary, who you don't capture on the map and have her push down a lane. She's her own mercenary. And I don't know who she's hired by. I'm gonna say it's Orphea, because I don't know, they're both Nexus heroes. I don't fucking know anymore, dude. Kira. In the I respect the mechanics but not a huge fan of the hero kind of deal, honestly, she's not far from Orphea in terms of my personal preference. I don't think. Like, I really think she's right around here. There you go. That's a good place. Yeah, that's an alright place. Like, I like the feeling of when Orphea's abilities go off right, but I think I like when Kira's abilities go off right, but I think I like Orphea's overall feel better. Hanzo, I just have more fun, like, angling his shit around and trying to hit skill shots desperately. And Ariel, I think, is a more engaging type of character, but I like Kira more than Brightwing and Diablo, certainly. That feels good. Rag, big improvement here. Honestly, I don't feel bad about placing Rag, like, way up there. Like, I think this is alright. Like, the Lava Wave. The Lava Wave is so good that it kind of gets in the way of how, like, perfectly good Sulfuria smashes as a heroic as well. His trait is awesome. He's the freaking Fire Lord. Everything is so dramatic. He has amazing wave clear with all of his AoE abilities. He has 3 solid builds that he can go for. He has a number of well, not actually that many interesting little talents he can pick up, but like this dude is such a good map controller, such a good objective controller, and he brings good team fight damage. I've got no complaints really. Now unfortunately, my A tier is looking pretty fucking burdened. Like how I like making tier lists is kind of on a curve, so I'll see how it looks by the end. Like I like most of my things to be right around this B and C tier. Like I like it to look like a distribution curve. Like it kind of hits its peak in the middle and then it flows right back down. So the smallest amount of heroes are at the top, the very top and the very bottom, and then most heroes are in the middle. Ray Ray. I don't think I'm crazy about Raynor, but I definitely like him. So I'm gonna place Raynor right around. I like Raynor more than these two. Though I think I like maybe playing Nazeebo a bit more sometimes. I think Nazebo's overall more of a problematic hero, so I think I'm going to let him sit there in timeout. And then we're going to move right along to Rhaegar. Raynor. Click things, win, very fun. Rhaegar. Do I like Rhaegar more than Lily? I think I might. Do I like Rhaegar more than Dehaka? I don't know, dude. It's like, this isn't feeling bad. This isn't feeling wrong. Like, he's a really good hero. Like, even before he got his rework, like, before any of that, I loved this dude before that. I've loved this dude a long time. He's aggressive, he's fun, you can tune your playstyle to what kind of team comp or what kind of style your team is playing. You can go either very aggressive or very passive. The ability to jump in and lock somebody down is awesome. His ability to take camps is also pretty cool. Mostly siege camps, to be honest. He has really nice mana sustain now, which is also appreciated, especially in PvE situations. And I think even if he gets nerfed, he's still going to churn out just a lot of healing. Bloodlust is awesome, even if I never pick it that often. It's always exciting when I do. And other than that, Ancestral is a really good, solid healing heroic. Yeah. I'm actually looking around, and I'm like, you know, Kharazim feels like he should maybe be higher. Like, honestly, I think it's kind of like that, if anything. Maybe like that. Okay. Rexxar. I mean, you know. Right, Rexxar is my little baby boy, right? Do I do this? Do I do the stupid thing? Ooh. Okay, so Rexxar doesn't always feel good. Rexxar doesn't always feel good. Rexxar doesn't always feel good. Doesn't matter if I can top damage with him as a bruiser. Doesn't matter if I have amazing lane control sometimes. I'm going to put him in A tier. Right around here. Right around here, yeah. Definitely a top 10 for me. I really feel like this dude's a top 10 hero for me. I'm looking at the rest of the heroes on the list, and I do not really see a lot more that I like more than my dude Rexxar, so yeah. Anyway, next up, Samuro. I regret to inform you that I had fun playing Samuro. I do think he's a little bit bullshit sometimes, but overall, I think I'm okay with him. I think I'm okay, and I think there's a really interesting and fascinatingly high skill ceiling on this guy that I actually respect the fuck out of. I'm gonna put him right around here, honestly. Pretty high, but yeah. Sergeant Hammer, yeah. Disgusting hero. One of my least favorites ever released. Yeah, not a whole lot to expound upon that with. Sonya. Sonya, one of my most played heroes in the game. Uh, you know, I have no regrets. I do not feel regret about it. I mean, Wrath of the Berserker is awesome, but fucking A, man. Like, the cage match. The cage match Crater is also sick as fuck and dramatic. Leap is sick. Going a Poison Spear auto attack build is fun as hell. Going spin to win, whirlwind all the time is a very gratifying feeling. Uh, Either with or without Wrath of the Berserker. The Fury system is fun and exciting. Um, she can just kind of do a little bit of anything. She's flexible, surprisingly. She can map control, she can clear lanes, she can team fight, she can engage hard, she can play a. Well, she can't really play very passively, but other than that, Sonya is awesome. Just such a cool, fun hero to play. Stitches, he hook and he book, and that's kind of it. I think he's better than he has been in the past, but overall I'm not terribly interested in Stitches as a hero. I don't particularly respect his hook gorge fucking shenanigans. I don't think his trait is terribly interesting. His gimmick of just being a big fucking ball of health is not terribly fascinating either. Yeah, honestly, I don't feel very positively about Stitches for the most part. I mean, it's good when you're on the allied team of a hook gorge Stitches and it goes off, but that doesn't mean it's a good play style or it's one that has a particularly interesting level of counterplay to it. Yeah, so not a particularly fun hero to play as or against, though he's alright to play with, I guess. He does essentially do the tank role just fine nowadays, but yeah, nothing I can't get elsewhere. I'm gonna put this guy right around here. Here? Probius versus Stitches. I like Probius more on a conceptual level. Stukov, um, I think he's fine on like a fundamental level. I think his auto attack being extremely hard hitting is funny, but like his silence and all of his silence builds and shit are just kind of shenanigans, and not very fond of them. Um, like without that, he's just not the most engaging. Though I know that with certain builds he can be extremely engaging, but I don't know. I'm probably gonna put him around the other healers. I feel like kind of mixed on. I think he's better than these two. Uh, but do I like him better than Alarak, though? I think I might like him better than Alarak. Yeah, because I can contribute on Stukov, whereas Alarak, it's like it's 100 or nothing, right? It's 100 or zero. Like either I become MVP or I do absolutely fucking nothing, and that's not a great feeling. Um, Sylvanas. I think Sylvanas is good. I do like her still. I is she gonna break up this tank area? Because I kind of think she could. Um, I think she goes right about there. Um, I used to love Sylvanas in the past deeply. She was probably a top 10 at one point, if not like maybe a top 5. It would not be fucking surprised. But she did get changed, and I like her new style now. It is engaging. I just don't get the strong, compelling urge to play Sylvanas, just because she is quite squishy, and you never know when you're not gonna get anybody to help you, because that does really feel kind of crappy on Sylvanas. But other than that, like her, you do need tanks also to play against, because you want to really get your Banshee's Curse on people, and that requires auto attacking a lot, and it's not reliable if everyone's squishy. I think Sylvanas is cool and interesting. I still think she has her role in the game as being like the siege monster, but who can shut down buildings. But I don't think it's as oppressive as before. I think she has to be a bit more concerted in her efforts to do such a thing, and yeah, I think she's cool. I like to play her, and when she pops off, it's really enjoyable. Tassadar. I mean, dude, what do you want me to say? Like, I gotta put this guy low. I'm just letting you all know in the past, early Tassadar, up here. Dead ass, like up here. If not, like, possibly here. No lie. Now Tassadar's like here. He's just a mage. He's just a freaking mage. I think he's less like these are problem heroes down here for me to play against, whereas these are just heroes that I think are not that impressive. And Asmodan is a problem here to some degree, but I think he's kind of fun to play in some perverse kind of way, so I let him slide a little bit to the top of D tier. Tassadar, I don't really get any particular enjoyment out of. I think his Psystorm is nice, and I think his Force Wall is cool. You know what? Okay. I'm going to be fair here. I think his Psystorm is nice, and I think his Force Wall is cool. That alone should place him right around here. You know, okay, he is more fun than Mephisto. He's probably, like, right around here. Okay, I know that was a huge raise, and I know, like, oh my god, like, wow, he's, like, in the middle of C tier. How can you say he's, like, the worst hero? It's because he broke my fucking heart, okay? That's the reason why. Because this is nothing. Like, you are lost among a sea of just interminable nonsense that I don't even think about. I don't consider the heroes in C tier much at all, except, like, these few up here. I straight up don't think about these heroes, except, like, wow, Stitch's hooks are annoying sometimes, and fucking Gazlo can be a pain in my butt, and I feel like I should like Malthael more, and oh yeah, Tassadar used to be one of my favorites, and now he is not. So he just sits in interminable mediocrity. Like, his Psystorm is fine, Force Wall is still an interesting ability, Archon, Eternal Archon is still nice, but nothing else stands out to me. None of his, like, talent tree, none of how he works, none of his little bullshitty AoE stuff. Just, he's just another guy now. Butcher. I don't know about the Butcher. I'm kind of feeling with the Butcher that he goes right around here. Because I have fun playing the Butcher, but god, there is agony in this guy too. Like, you queue up for a Butcher game, you're rolling the dice on your fucking sanity, which is you know, there's something to that. There's a diegetic element there that is honestly commendable, but I think it's accidental that playing the Butcher, this fucking deranged, meat-hungry monster who massacres people to gather their flesh, might drive you a little bit insane. I think there's something cool about that. So Butcher can go there, because when he works, he's really fun, even if he's not necessarily fun to play against. And when he doesn't work, your brain will melt into putty. So, nice. TLV, the Lost Vikings. You know, I gotta give it to the Vikings. I'm gonna put them at right around here. I'm not good at them, but I have fun. Okay? And it's a stressful fun, but it's the stressful fun of being like, wow, I fucked this up pretty bad, didn't I, guys? Boy, just let all my Vikings die like that. You saw my TLV video. You know what the deal is. But fuck me if I didn't have a blast doing it. Fuck me if I wouldn't do it again, right? Like, this is such a unique hero concept, and I kind of am in love with it, even if I know I do not have the mechanical wherewithal to actually handle it. If I did have that mechanical skill, you can bet your ass the Vikings would be higher, and I'd be playing them a hell of a lot more than I do. Yeah. I don't think there's anything particularly bullshit about the Vikings, either. I think, like, the loss you take in team fights is made up for by how much split push and how much soak they can gather. I think they're fine. I think it's cool. Oh, here's a big heavy hitter right here. Thrall. I'm absolutely putting Thrall pretty high up. Honestly, right around there. I think I like him more than Muradin. He's got some great heroics. He's got a great kit that is just rock solid that they didn't have to do anything with it. They didn't have to do shit with it. It was just good. It was just good. And yeah. Yeah. Just like even when they reworked him, he was just barely had to do shit. Awesome hero. Super good talent tree. So many different options to go for, and I think a lot of them are good, even if like people tend to kind of put themselves into one or two different builds. I think he has more than that. That is absolutely viable. Going a W build is fun. Going an E build can be enjoyable. Getting all that movement speed, getting those extra roots, it's all cool. Thrall, so good. Such a good, just well-rounded hero. I just think that the other heroes above him bring a little bit more for my own personal enjoyment, but I think he's totally cool up there. Losing my voice a little bit, but here we go. Tracer. I mean, where's Genji? Okay, Genji's there. I don't like playing Tracer. I do like playing Genji. Tracer, I think, historically has been even more of a problem hero than Genji. I think I kind of got to put Tracer down here somewhere. Like, honestly, in terms of my personal preference, I tried at one point to like get into Tracer, and there's a little bit of fun to be had, but it's mostly not mine. It's mostly not my fun. She's doing the fucking DreamWorks face at me, which I don't respect. I don't appreciate. You can't just be doing the DreamWorks face at me, putting you in D tier, Trace. That's not how this works. You can't just get out of it like that. Anyway, I'm gonna move on because it's just fucking intimidating me, and I don't like it. Recall out of here. Tycho Brahe, the man who mapped the stars. Nope, this is actually just Tychus, an idiot who got shot in the head and got infected by Zerg. Oh, Wings of Liberty had a stupid story. It's just Raynor fucking smoking cigars, getting drunk, and mining minerals for a strange Rastafarian man and a fucking convicted criminal. Oh, that all said, Tychus is fun. That all said, Tychus is fun. I've got a lot of affection for this guy. I gotta take a little bit of historical precedent into account. I think high B tier feels right for this guy. I don't think he deserves A tier. I don't think he's a hero that I just queue up whenever I fucking feel like it, but I think I hold him in roughly the same esteem as like these couple of heroes around here. Good wave clear, good AoE, amazing single target, short range which balances him out, drops a fucking Odin in, awesome, decent tankiness. He has some solid zone control with his other heroic ability, the Draken Laser Drill. Just a really well-rounded hero, which is kind of surprising because everyone always just talks about him as the Tank Slayer, but he's got a decent versatility to him that I think should be respected. Yeah. Tyrael. Tyrael. At times, I've held this guy in a lot higher esteem, but I think he kind of has a little bit of trouble finding a niche, which kind of makes it hard for me to really rate him super duper highly. But also, I really kind of like his kit, but I think his trade is bullshit. I don't know. Weird mixed feelings. I think I'm gonna put him right around, right around here. That feels right. So Tyrael brings a ton of utility. He has shields. He can increase movement speed. He has a ton of his own mobility. He has Sanctification, which is an amazing heroic. His trait sucks. He has no crowd control, though he is treated as a tank, which is a strange feeling because it makes you want to not queue up as him because The other team will just get someone who can actually lock a person down and have them killed, and Tyrael doesn't have that, at least until he gets Judgment at level 10. His trait sucks because it's when he dies, he turns into a slow-moving bomb that goes boom eventually. It's pretty easy to dodge for a lot of heroes. It doesn't secure many kills, so what's the point of it? Also, he's really good at surviving, so why would you build his trait around dying? It's a question. When Tyrael is awesome, he's so awesome, and he's an easy A tier, but so often Tyrael is not awesome, and he feels like he kind of is a little bit in limbo, but I still have a lot of affection for him. So I think around here feels okay. I'm actually going to place him, like, right here, because I think I definitely like him better than Blaze and Mal'Ganis. Maybe, yeah, despite all of his flaws, I really enjoy Tyrael. It's just hard to find the moment to play him, that's all. Where it'll actually be beneficial. Tyrande, I have a lot of levels on Tyrande. I don't know how that happened, honestly. I think she's fine. I think I'd place her right around here, which is weird because I'm not meaning for her to fall next to Malfurion, but here we are. I definitely enjoy Malfurion a bit more, I think, which is the reason for their no, that's it. I find her, like, mix of being a ranged assassin, a ranged auto attack assassin, and a healer pretty interesting. I find it interesting that she transitioned from a support character into a main healer. Her owl is just kind of chilling there, doing whatever an owl does, and she has a lot of utility. She can reduce armor, she has a solid stun in a small area of effect, she has vision, and she has a bunch of healing that she can toss out, but it is super skill dependent, dependent on getting a lot of damage out on your end. Yeah, I think that's an alright spot for Tyrande. Uther is really enjoyable, and I actually kind of love him a little bit. I'm feeling alright about, like, an Uther right around here. Yep, that feels good. He's a tank healer, which is awesome for quick match because you're a tank and a healer, two roles you're not liable to see. Now, he's not a real tank. He's not, like, tanky, but he can take some blows, given he always gives himself armor whenever he heals, and he has a stun that he just has as a point and click. He also has a follow-up stun he can pick up at level 10 to mega stun somebody. He has Divine Shield. He has a Resurrect at level 20. If he dies, as, you know, a solo frontliner might, you can just start tossing out a bunch of heals to all of your compatriots. It's pretty cool. I just think his healing numbers can be a little bit low, and he definitely can have some mana problems. But other than that, I think Uther's pretty cool. No real complaints about him. Oh boy, here's a hero I don't think about, I don't talk about very much. It's just fucking Valeera. But honestly, you know, it's for the legacy, guys. It's for the legacy. She's gotta go near the bottom. Like, fuck Valeera, dude. Fuck Valeera. Stupid ass silence, stupid ass stun, stupid ass third cloaked, fourth stealth hero. She doesn't do anything except 100 to 0 people, and it's quite road. It's got that Kel'Thuzad thing of when you get it, like, you kind of do the same. Well, there's more decision making for Valeera, to be perfectly honest. And there's more decision making in the average Valeera moment than in the average Kel'Thuzad moment, because things are more complicated, the button combinations are more intricate and more thoughtful, but in the end, it's all just to do one thing, which is just lock a single hero down and assassinate them. She doesn't do anything else. Her wave clear is pathetic. Her heroics don't actually contribute to the well-being of the team fight, which is Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, even Kel'Thuzad can't say that, for fuck's sakes. Like, all of her heroics are just to keep her ass alive, which I guess fits the character, but fuck off anyway, dude. Um, yeah. Yeah. Yep, yep, yep. Yep. Anyway, yeah, Valeera, like, she used to be even worse, but now she's just kind of unimpactful. She's a little bit, she's been Nova'd a bit, but whereas I kind of still enjoy Nova a bit, I don't enjoy Valeera at all. I don't even know if I've, like, at this juncture in time, I don't know if I've played a full real Valeera game. Maybe once. Um, hooray. Anyway, Vala can go pretty decently high, but not as high as her level would suggest. I think she's probably going to sit around here. Actually, here. Yeah, that's fine. She's a really fun ranged assassin. When she works, she really works. Some of the most intense games I've ever played have been on Vala, just maximizing how much damage I can do. And I remember that game because I still lost because Asmodan dunked on me, you fucking dickhead. It was Towers of Doom, by the way. But I, in that game, did, like, 6-digit damage. Like, some real shit. Her rework was ostensibly good for her. I think it just kind of built on the same principles that she's always been built on, which is she's got a Q build that interacts with her E talent, with her E, which is her vault. She's got a W build, and she's got an auto attack build. I think Def Siphon, her level 20 Strafe upgrade, is a little bit bullshit. Increased duration plus healing is a little bit ridiculous, especially considering how long this duration can go. Yikes. Yeah, I think she can scale a little bit too much, but overall I think she's fine, save for a few flaws, and I think she's a very mechanically intensive hero, a very based around like how good you are with your fundamentals. She's very fast, but she's very squishy, and she doesn't have a get out of jail free, fuck yourself card like Tracer does, so she'll never fall into that trap. Yeah, I think that's an alright spot for Vala. I have many times in the past kept trying to play her, and it's been questionable. Actually, that's kind of making me think, like, I probably like Cassie a bit more, and, like, I think Vala would probably go here. Yeah, that actually feels better. Like, Rainer's a little bit stupid. Vala's a little bit too much, and Cassia follows a nice, like, balance of being, like, uh, reasonably tanky, but not too crazy. Like, simple, but not stupid, and not too mechanically demanding, but still being quite intense to play. Alright, there you go. Varian. Varian specs into one of 3 styles. He has Sea Smash, which is about reducing armor and just bursting somebody. Twin Blades is about turning into Illidan, and Taunt is about being a tank. Now, when you play Varian, you're often forced into a tank role because of his weird classification. He was a multi-class hero. They decided to just get rid of that. Sure. I think Varian is fun. Yeah, I think Varian's fun. I think he's a little bit face rolly, which is kind of stupid, but I think I overall enjoy him. Like, I think this is, like, right about the place where I think he is. I think Kerrigan's more exciting when she... Well, I don't know. I do like the flexibility of Varian, but, like, also he can be unflexible, too, depending on your comp. Like, you just queue up and it's like, oh, well, guess I'm going to have to run Taunt Varian again. Sea Smash seems kind of out of the question, and Twin Blade certainly is. You know, I don't know. He's not the most fascinating hero, even though he feels like he should be. Anyway, Whitemane. Whitemane is both, like, bullshit and also, like, not bullshit. I don't know. Weird hero. She does healing equal to her ability damage when she has Zeal on somebody. Interesting, I guess. I don't know. I played her a few times. I think she was alright. I don't have strong opinions on her or anything. Um, hmm. Like, she's kind of like Malfurion, but like more intensive and with less like immediate utility and crowd control. I don't know. I don't know. Don't have a ton of opinions. Anyway, next up is Zool. Zool is wave clear fucking god, lane push god. Um, I don't know. He's got an easy route. He's got tons of AoE. He's got 2 solid heroics. He's got freaking bone armor. Zool is awesome. Zool owns. You know, somewhere around there. You know. Yeah, yeah, that feels alright. That feels alright. I like that. I like that. Yrel, somehow I feel like I should be like so into Yrel because she's like a support bruiser solo lane with like an instant mount and all this shit, and it's like I never quite got into her, and I've played her a number of times, but I've never been like, wow, that was the most fun I've ever had. Keep going. Nope, never quite happened that way. So I think I put Yrel like probably low B tier. Like that seems like an alright place for Yrel to be. Um, I think if I played her more, I'd have even more fun with her. I think her trait where she can instantly charge up her ability to activate it at full strength is cool, and I like that all of her abilities take some charge up time. It does make her a very deliberate hero. Um, and she's fun. You know, she is fun, but I think it just like never quite got that deep seated connection with her. Zagara is kind of bullshit. And when I say kind of, I mean she's like really pretty bullshit. Um, I don't really like playing her personally anymore because I don't like the whole creep thing. Because it's like just always throwing creep numbers around. It feels like I'm not playing the game with everybody else. I'm just playing the Zagara split push game or the Zagara lane experience. She has just a lot of very easy kind of thoughtless damage she can do by dropping her hunter killer or even her roachlings with percent damage. Uh she's the last vestige of Envenom in this game because she has an ability called Envenom Spine or Envenom Spines, which allows her to cast a poisoning auto attack, which kind of works like Envenom, and it's also at level 4 like Envenom used to be. So carry on that tradition, Queen. Brood Mother bug creature. Um, yeah, the Maw get out of jail free card, the Nidus split pushing, it's just not stuff I respect very much. Zagara, you can go down here, and also her damage is so fucking sticky without a healer, and if nobody's answering the Zagara, it's such a nightmare, dude. Not a fan. Zarya is alright. Zarya is definitely alright. I'm feeling like right around here for Zarya. Yeah, that feels like an alright place for Zarya. She gets shields, she gives shields, and then she uses those shields to power up her auto attacks and her Q ability. She has some heroics that either block people from entering a place or trap people in a place. Um, I don't know. I don't have a ton to say. She's a pretty simple hero. Uh, though she has her enjoyable qualities. She's one of only like 3 supports left in the game. Yippee fucking do. Hooray. Anyway, Zeratul. I gotta be real. I think Zeratul's pretty sick, but I'm also not terribly good at him. Like, I think he's mechanically such an intensive, intricate, and just fucking interesting hero. Um, but, like, to pretend I will ever truly understand him, especially Might of the Nerazim Might of the Nerazim Zeratul, I don't. I do not.
Do I understand how to use Void Prison fully? No, I do not. I'm just vibing, dude. I'm just vibing. I'm pressing some buttons. I'm having a bit of a good time. Zeratul is a stealth hero who has wave clear, which God fucking bless, dude. Like only Samuro has that. Look where the other two are that don't. Jesus Christ. um, if a Zeratul is dancing on you and completely cranking your shit, and he doesn't have an Abathur hat, so remember that. I think Abathur's fine where he is because he can be problematic in a lot of combinations. If Zeratul's doing that, it's because he's good. It's because that player is fucking good. They can press their buttons. They're mechanically solid, and they are outplaying you. And I think that's a really cool idea, even if I cannot do it myself. Zul'jin is a scaling hero, and he's kind of a bullshit scaling hero. I no real love lost for this guy. I don't enjoy playing him. Don't enjoy playing against him. Um, yeah, he turns on Tazdingo, which allows him to not die, and then he gets more auto attacks off. When he gets to a certain point, he gains extra range. He has a talent called Headhunter at level 1, which, if he kills each enemy hero one time, he gets extra range, so he can get extremely long attack range in addition to extremely high attack damage, in addition to an ability he turns on to prevent himself from dying. Do you kind of see the problem here? He also has other abilities, but they almost don't even matter, because that fundamental loop is just kind of toxic in my opinion. And like, if your team does not play cognizantly around that, like it punishes everybody on the team, and I kind of don't like that. So, here's I guess my tier list. I think it looks all right. Yeah, there it is. I'm not gonna run through everybody because there's just way too many freaking heroes, dude. But like, you see it, you get the idea, and that's gonna be that. It ended up being only somewhat longer than my maps video. God bless.
Alright, it's been a couple of days now, so I'm actually going to choose to return to this tier list with some fresh eyes and see if I really agree with it. I'm going to say, right off the bat, in S tier, Greymane is probably a bit more like this, and yeah, I think it's probably a little bit something more like that. Yeah, I mean, I love Greymane. Obviously, he's an S tier. Like, how could I not love him? But I think he's a little bit lower. In A tier, down with most of what I see here. But I am gonna say, I think Thrall is probably higher than Rexxar. Uh, Other than that, Muradin's probably below Falstad too. That's just my intuition. I probably below Zul too, honestly. Honestly, it's so neck and neck that who the f even knows? Truly, everyone else here is fine. These are all okay. Um, Tychus at top of B tier feels fine. Arthas, Tyrael, Sylvanas, these all feel just alright. One thing, thoughts that I didn't have on a few heroes. Murky, a thought I did not have, and I don't know if this necessarily changes his tiering. One thing I find really obnoxious is that a fully stacked slime time Murky, is something that can punish you even if you don't mess up. Because Murky can stack off other teammates, so other teammates can mess up, and then you have to deal with the consequences. And those consequences are that if Murky is not peeled off your backline, he'll solo them, completely just decimate them, and even if he gets killed afterwards, who cares? It's not a trade, is it? Because it's frickin' Murky, and he's worth a fourth of a hero, and his respawn timer is much shorter. That kind of makes me want to put Murky a little bit more down here. Like, I think that feels about right. Other than that, in B tier, everything's looking more or less fine. Um, all heroes I like. Um, to varying degrees. Um, Zeratul, they're probably gonna go closer to like the bottom, honestly, along with the Vikings. Like these are heroes I like, but um, I have some mixed feelings on. Um, I'm that look all right? Yeah, I think that looks all right. I think that looks fine. Um, yeah, yeah. Um, Chen. I think I like Chen a bit more than this tier list is letting on. I think I really enjoy him. I think I'm gonna place him a bit more like probably around here. I think he's definitely more reliable than or no. I think Varian's definitely more reliable than Chen, which can help. But like Chen has so much more style. There's a lot of subjectivity here, and I think like Chen is probably like around here. Um, but also when Chen doesn't work, he feels kind of crappy. But I'll say this: with Chen, they really tried at making a hero who was improved from his original form. They really tried to update him and modernize him a bit without just taking his identity away. I really think they did a pretty good shot at it. And I don't think they did perfectly, because I think it's almost impossible to do it perfectly, but I think he's, at least in non-formal settings, non-competitive settings, more effective than he is not. Maybe that's a little bit too much, but I don't know. I don't know. If I had to divide this tier list, I would probably divide it right along probably where Leoric is, maybe where Diva is, into like B plus and like B minus, I guess if you want to call it. C tier, I would do something similar just because this is a really fucking huge tier. I am not doing it. Maybe I should actually. What's a color? How about teal? Oh. Okay. Well, it's gonna fucking... Okay. You know what? Okay. This is gonna be your B minus tier. It's gonna be like a darkish blue. Here it's gonna be B plus. And I think I'm gonna divide right along this line. Keep things in order, hopefully. Because, like, I feel like the heroes in B plus tier, I would pretty much play whenever. Whereas I definitely have to be in a bit more of a specific kind of mood to play a B minus tier hero. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like I would play literally any of these heroes and I'd feel fine about it. Whereas, like, B minus, there's, like, a little something holding me back, whether it's, like, Varian constantly having to run taunt. I'm going to actually put Varian... I feel like Varian's certainly at least here. I don't know if he's B plus tier. I do not know. I'm gonna keep Varian in B minus tier for a very arbitrary reason, which is, I think like for a long time he was really stupid. In his current form, I'd say he's B plus, but like he's had a pretty stupid history throughout time. He had an entire period where it's like he was pretty terrible until level 10. I'm glad they changed that. That's for the best. C tier, I'm also going to be dividing up. Let's see if we can find two relatively corresponding colors. I'm going to pick up this pink, then I'm going to add a row below. It's going to work similarly, which is that this is going to be C plus tier, and this is going to be C minus tier with this color right there. This is not me judging these colors, by the way, by any means. I like these colors more than this, but I do like the bright colors more than the muted colors, so it's whatever. Anyway, this happened as I was looking at this, and I kind of thought, like, ugh, there's kind of like a place where this kind of jumps off a little bit, and I start feeling very differently about these heroes. Certainly Tyrande, Orphea, Ariel, Hanzo, Kira, Zarya, Brightwing, Diablo, Mei, Samuro. Wait, I've been doing the wrong thing. Okay, wait. I can correct this. Here we go. Here's how we're going to do this. Okay. Here we go. We're gonna make the magic happen. Watch this. Then close that. Alright, and boom! Just like that. Alright, here we go. I think at some point in this lineup here, we move from like C plus to C minus. And I don't know exactly where it is. Because I'm actually feeling like Jaina is probably not a full 2 tiers below Kael'thas. That seems wrong somehow. But I also kind of don't... This is tough. This is tricky. I don't know. Because it's like Butcher is kind of stupid, but I kind of also like him. And I think there's like problems with Butcher. I think Maev's super cool in terms of her style. I think it's like right here. I think this is the point. I think this is it. And also that balances these two tiers pretty well, so that they have a relatively equal amount on each. Yeah, these tiers are actually looking mostly pretty balanced. Obviously, most are clustered around these, which is why they got split in half. That feels fine. One other thing I wanted to mention is I think I underrated Hanzo. I think I do have quite a bit of fun playing Hanzo, even if, like, I'd say he's possibly even more like a low B tier, like a B minus. I think this isn't. I think it's probably more like this, if anything. Malfurion, Gul'dan. Yeah, I'd honestly put him right here. I was underrating Hanzo, and I don't know why that is. I have a good deal of fun playing him. I do think he's had a problematic history that has been more or less cleared up. And now I just think it's a little bit obnoxious how his poke damage works. And I think the trait where he jumps on a horse afterwards is, I mean, it's cool, but, like, also. And with that, I've kind of emburdened the B minus tier, and does Varian stay where he is, or do I give Varian a pass? Even if he's a face rolly dick. The answer is I don't know. Anyway, C minus tier is gonna be fine. I don't think I have any real big changes in terms of my evaluation here. I think everything's fine. No real issues. F tier, honestly, no real changes either. This is what it is. S tier feels fine as it is. I mean, like, if I had to divide this up any further, like, I would say, like, my top 10 is my top 10. Like, here they are. Like they are my S plus tier and S minus if you really want to go for that. That is Lunara, ETC, Sonya, Rhaegar, Greymane, Dehaka, Lee, Thrall, Rexar, and Falstad. Order, honestly, a little bit subject to change, but yeah. I'm really wondering about Zool. I think I like Muradin better, but these two are neck and fucking neck, dude. Any other thoughts, really? I don't want this B minus tier to be misleading. I still like these heroes. I just like them a bit less. Like, these are, like, nice heroes that I enjoy playing. Like, I'll play these guys most of the time. Or if not that necessarily, then I enjoy their design concept and I respect these heroes and what they do, for the most part. Whereas, so it's like I either like enjoy them a fair bit, and or I respect them. But I definitely do not dislike them, and I definitely don't disrespect them. If that makes any sense? Like, down here is where we start getting a little bit more dislike and disrespect, and here is where the shit hits the fan, and here's the fucking garbage bin of the game. Yeah. Yeah, this is feeling alright. I like my top 10. That feels like an actually pretty proper top 10. Like, can't see that really, that feels alright. So we have in that top 10, just for posterity's sake, we have 3 range damage dealers, 2 healers, 4 bruisers, and 1 tank. Would you look at that? Every role is covered, at least. Every role is covered. I guess except support. Like, shut up, though. That's not a real role. Yeah, there it is. There's the list. It feels probably fine. I'm not going to go into the finicky details of every single ordering, especially as we get to the bottom. Like, fuck, dude. I don't care if I like Zul'jin or Chromie better. I don't give a shit. I really don't. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.